War in Iran. President Trump says there is the possibility of peace, while at the same time weighing whether or not to send in the 82nd Airborne. It all comes as Israel expands its attacks on Lebanon, and Pakistan has now joined a growing list of countries willing to act as a mediator between the U.S. and Iran. While President Trump says he's moving closer to a deal with Iran, he doesn't say who his administration is speaking with. The U.S. has killed a dozen of the country's top leaders since the conflict began, and it's not known who has been running the country day to day. International correspondent Robert Sherman is live in Tel Aviv. So, Robert, what is the likelihood that Pakistan could host these peace talks?
Well, I mean, it's certainly more likely than where it was about 24 hours ago, in which we now have a formal offer that is on the table coming from Islamabad, giving the Iranians and the Americans the opportunity to sit down face to face and have these conversations. This is what the Prime Minister of Pakistan had to say a short while ago, saying Pakistan welcomes and fully supports ongoing efforts to pursue dialogue to end the war in the Middle East in the interest of peace and stability in the region and beyond. Subject to concurrence by the U.S. and Iran, Pakistan stands ready and honored to be the host to facilitate meaningful and conclusive talks for a comprehensive settlement of the ongoing conflict. You see President Trump there resharing that invitation to his own Truth Social page, giving the indication that message received without question. From the Iranian side, however, we haven't gotten any such acknowledgement of the invitation that is on the table here. Iran's foreign minister has said time and time again there are no formal talks taking place between Tehran and Washington, although he has been picking up the phone and having conversations with diplomats from Egypt, from Turkey, from Pakistan, who have reportedly been playing these mediating roles here. So there is still a little bit of time left on the clock, with the president saying he's going to hold off for 5 days before carrying out strikes on any Iranian power plant facilities. That doesn't mean the strikes in the interim are stopping, with American forces still hitting Iranian targets, especially those that relate to threatening the Strait of Hormuz. The president says he's prepared to be patient for a couple of days, but that's not indefinite. Nichole.
So not indefinite, Robert. If the U.S. and Iran do, in fact, end up at the negotiating table, what would be the key points to making a deal possible?
Well, some of these have been put out into the public sphere from the Iranian side. For example, the president of Iran has said that one of the things that would need to happen would be security guarantees, assurances that the war would not be resuming. Reuters has cobbled together a list here that you see here. Compensation for wartime losses. We've even heard the Iranians use the term reparations. Formal control of the Strait of Hormuz, no ballistic missile program limitations. That last one especially is going to be a difficult one for the Israeli side to swallow, and more than likely from the Americans as well. There are indications that Iran has said that they're prepared to dig their heels in on all of this, believing that they have some degree of leverage, which is why when you listen to people here in the Israeli public, they're not putting a lot of stock into the potential for any talks here, believing that the gap to bridge is just simply a little bit too far wide. And most people here believe that there's still a ways to go in this war. Nichole.
All right, Robert Sherman live for us there in Tel Aviv. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.